had a comeback of the year in Milan. We had a video review of the year in Madrid. So let's hope to have a episode of the year, right? Let's continue the trend. Welcome to URBONUS Q&A session, fellas. Rytis
Welcome.
Gytis Blaževičius, that's URBONUS. We're gonna respond to BN Plus members' questions, also to all of those who send us questions on our YouTube community or after our last YouTube episode. But the entire episode will be available only for BN Plus members. Currently, we have some great offers. For instance, the first month is for free, and if you don't like the BN Plus platform, you can just cancel the subscriptions, and you're going to get not only the Q&A episode, this one or the previous ones, but also full access to Give Me a Control articles or videos, BN Plus member community on Discord channel, and some other extra features that we offer. So
yeah, also the retro episodes that
a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
A lot of
the
content.
list is quite long, so shall we start with the questions that we had?
Yeah, we have quite a few, so I feel like we should
But
begin.
For the beginning, I want to throw some hot potato over there with Alexa Radanov, because he has a personal question to Gytis. How does it feel to be famous and quoted in Serbian media?
Man, and I don't know if Rytis knows this as well, but
In
did
the
you
last
know?
few weeks, he eventually got to know a lot of interesting things about his family, about his sponsor, maybe about our podcast sponsor.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
You can continue.
So point being, I had no clue that our podcasts are being written out by these, I don't know what kind of media outlet it is in terms of popularity or respectability in Serbia, but they're writing our quotes from podcasts out, putting sensationalized headlines. Lithuanians, Zvezda won't make the playoffs, or Zvezda won't win.
Like this even Lithuanians?
Yeah,
Okay.
Lithuanians.
Like the whole nation.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
essentially putting their own conclusions in there, putting only bits of our full podcasts in text without any emotion. That obviously you cannot put the emotion in without listening to the actual podcast. And that way they're making like us the enemies of each of these teams, and it's not just this particular example of Crvena Zvezda media or Partizan media. I know in Greece as well, it's a similar story. We are so far away in Lithuania from this kind of media where there's these kind of headlines, and another thing, that there are media for each team, like media outlets that have, preference for a team. We don't have that. So we don't understand, how this is a thing. And now I finally got to understand why we're getting so much hate from certain teams, because we're being portrayed in a light that they want, in their own language, without our own actual words being listened to. They just look at what was.
But now you know how sometimes players feel about media, right? Because that's what some media do, and that's what we also do in Lithuania. Listening to the podcast, putting some quotes, and when you don't have a full picture, like the emotion, as I mentioned, or the context, or I think that in general people should understand that you don't need to take every opinion or every quote like a big thing or something.
I mean, I understand, okay, when an expert...
Especially on the podcast.
Yeah, but okay, I understand one way that you could quote people from podcasts. When it's a coach, a player, or someone, a former player or a former coach, and they have their opinion weighs, like it has a good weight because of...
It means that, you're credible. Now you made it basically with the podcast. If you are quoted in Serbia and in Greece, it means that you're big.
You're big. Like this podcast became big because of the years we put in. But I mean, I feel like us three here, we're basketball enthusiasts. We're not journalists with Rytis. You're the only journalist. Augustas is also not a journalist. And we're being like, we got these comments. Why aren't you objective? You're supposed to be professional. You're supposed to be this and that. We're just people who like basketball, in my eyes, and we're watching this basketball, and we talk about it the way we see it. That's how I see it. And we can even have preferences for teams, I think. I think this is not a
normal
crime.
world.
Yeah. Like, I could like a certain team more than the other. And this is being like, you're not being objective, you're always against this or that. No, you're just reading these articles written by these media outlets that obviously have a bias more than we have biases. Listen to this. I don't care about any of the teams. I just love, like, this is the thing from me personally, what I think about the EuroLeague teams. I don't care about any of the teams, like, except for Zalgiris, maybe a bit more because I'm from here. But otherwise, I don't really care. And I only love the teams that have a passionate fan base because it's a beautiful thing to watch. That's all. So I like all the teams. I like Zvezda, Partizan, Panathinaikos, Olympiacos, Fenerbahce. That's pretty much all the passionate fan bases, right? So Maccabi, when they play at home. I like all these teams. And where's the problem in that? Like, I'm just... Because people think that we have, like, we're so biased.
I haven't seen you so angry.
He got triggered, I think.
Man, because I was surprised. I was genuinely maybe like a bit even disappointed in how that could be a thing. That people are writing out our shit talk.
I believe that they're getting a lot of clicks. Because I believe that they're getting a lot of clicks because you're triggering people, especially putting this thing, Lithuanians about Serbians, for instance, and then yada yada, all the politics gets involved. But I want to listen to Rytis' response because he was just smiling.
I don't really have a response to that.
I mean, you're the number one enemy right now of Zvezda fan base. How do you feel about that?
Another day in Rytis' office.
I feel great. I love stupid people in my DMs every time. I respond to each and every one of them, as I said, as it was with Panathinaikos some time ago. Now Zvezda, look, like this one guy is telling me that your statement about Zvezda is inappropriate. And I asked him, which part is inappropriate? He says, well, you predicted us to win only 1 out of the next 5 games, which is very unprofessional. I said, so now predicting basketball game outcomes is inappropriate. And then I started listing him. I think Baskonia will win 2 out of their next 5. Partizan will win 2 out of their next 5. And I said, are these appropriate statements in your eyes? Like, which part of predicting games is inappropriate? Then, of course, my favorite ones are the guys that claim to have had intercourse with my relatives. Those are my favorite ones. The least favorite ones are just those that are simply sending clown emojis. You know, it's cool, but it's been done before.
And it's not lack of creativity, I would say.
Lack of creativity. Then there's this one guy on my Instagram old post, because I don't really post on Instagram anymore. He, in capital letters, he's writing Bolon Boy, and I respond, Mike Turbes. Like, are we just naming random Zvezda players now? What is the game here? And then the Twitter exchanges, then, and then I eventually got into one of the conversations a little bit deeper. So I managed to convince the guy that Mr. Ostoja from Partizan is sending me 50,000 Serbian dinars before every podcast, and I get envelopes twice a week.
But it's only 400 euros, right?
It's less. It's
even
100
less. Come on now.
So he told me,
You're
like,
not that cheap, man.
He told me,
it's a bit
he told me,
too
this
low.
guy is rich. You should ask for more, and dinars are worthless. I said, yes. That's a good thought. I will ask him to send US dollars or euros, because dinars are definitely not a stable currency. So I kind of like these conversations. I don't necessarily want to have them, but if my statement, my prediction that a certain team will win 1 out of their next 5 games brings this sort of reaction, well, what can I do? I'm here to predict, to give my takes, to give my opinions, and 95% of my talk is purely about what happens on a court. Rarely I focus on some other things. So, and the strangest of all is now this concept that I support Partizan or I'm sponsored by Partizan. Like, I don't care about Partizan or Zvezda
he's
either.
Definitely making the headlines now. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's, I mean, but that's Rytis, whatever he thinks.
And they're inviting me to come to Serbia with threatening messages. Bro, I'm not coming if you're there to kill me. Like, why would I go there? If you invite me and, offer me some drinks,
like
then
they only say that.
Then fine.
We had
comments
same
are
messages
comments,
from Power fans,
honestly.
and
But I
we
had to-
experienced only love.
I had to
pure
call
love.
my mom to actually clarify that she didn't sleep with this guy named Tonic. And she said, no, I didn't. So why would you claim that you...
The same guy claimed the same thing about my mom.
People
as
have
well.
feelings,
I just didn't have that phone call.
People
He's
have
quick.
feelings. Why do you hurt people by saying this? I just
It's
said...
personal. It's personal. Yeah.
And by the way, my prediction that Zvezda will win 1 out of their next 5 games is still alive, so...
Man.
Rytis, I think that Rytis has his inner Mike James, because for quite some time he's just ignoring all those messages, Twitter stuff, Instagram. But one morning you just wake up and then you see this
Then you choose violence.
irrational stream on Twitter
Yeah.
with Rytis responding to every fucking question, every fucking emoji, threatening, and all these comments. So it makes my day, actually. It makes my morning just perfect.
I mean, it's sort of a blessing and a curse when we talk about sports fans and them identifying with a sports team. It's just a part of, like a part of them to be a fan of whatever team they choose. And when you criticize that team, you criticize them, essentially, from a psychological point of view. So that's why they become so defensive. That's why they attack you. That's why they...
And I haven't even criticized anyone.
No, and this is the thing,
Because honestly, I haven't seen Zvezda play yet this season. I haven't had the time, so didn't really share any opinions about the way they play. Just a prediction based on their schedule. That's all.
And then we see the headline, and there was a nice little how would you call that thing? Sorry for taking the time to
Question,
find it, but
tweets,
no, it's in
response.
the article, like a little summary. However, now they respect red and white a little bit more, and there's also that.
No, I don't. The respect level is the same as it was, as for any other team.
And also it says, now at 3-0, Gytis Blaževičius has reason to correct himself. I never said anything that I needed to correct myself for. I never in that podcast that everyone got triggered by, it was you and Augustus, and more specifically you, who said about the 1 win in 5 games or something. I never said anything about their games. I even said that's a bold prediction to you. And now I'm correcting myself when I said that. Well, where's Serbian Zvezda? I'm just...
Anyway, congratulations with 3-0. You're champions of October. Bravo to that. And can we move to other topics?
Yes.
We actually had a couple Zvezda questions, but I'm not sure if they're relevant right now.
I mean,
think that Rytis...
No.
solid
So
enough.
the question is, do you change your opinion about them after
I
their
don't
3?
have an opinion about them, but because I said I haven't seen them play yet.
Okay.
But as I said in one of our inaugural podcasts of the season, that if we do power rankings, we should maybe do updated power rankings. So if we would update our power rankings based on October, well, I still don't know how they will play Barcelona today. They might be 4-0. So if we update the power rankings, definitely we don't put them in 12th or 14th or where we had them before the season. So that is quite obvious. The only thing that I had in mind was that I'm not impressed by a team beating Paris Basketball and Baskonia at home. Like, this is what you expect from teams that are playing in the EuroLeague for years. Usually you expect them to beat Baskonia at home because Baskonia is dangerous in Buesa. And Paris Basketball is a new team. So that's why I didn't really... I didn't really react to their first 2 wins. Now, beating Fenerbahce away and keeping them under 60 points, that is impressive. Of course, that is impressive. I admit it, I didn't expect that to happen, but it happened. So kudos to them. I mean, sure.
Yeah. I will skip some of these questions.
Sure.
We kind of covered all these things. The question that I had for you was from Nick Koher, who actually shared all the love to Rytis, and he had some funny questions, about Zvezda, about the predictions and stuff like that. But the last question is really interesting. Which player, by your opinion, is the biggest disappointment of the start of the season or the first 3 rounds, and which one the biggest surprise?
This was just a short clip of the entire Q&A podcast. if you want to watch the whole thing, make sure to go and check out basketnews.com/plus. Get your membership for free for the first month, and check out this episode where we talked about new EuroLeague rising stars, also teams that disappointed, players that surprised us, and a lot of different questions that were answered. Check it out down in the description below.